Hi everybody, I'm Michael. This is a review for a short story. It is called The Proverbial Murder by John Dixon Carr. It stars his detective, Dr. Gideon Fell. And I'd never heard of Dr. Fell before picking up this book of famous detectives. I'm kind of glad I picked up this book because Dr. Fell is an interesting fellow. Yeah, he's one of those detectives who pretends to be really stupid and weird when the whole time he's secretly solving the mystery. Yeah, it basically plays the fool in order to put the culprit, at rest, lull the culprit into a sense of false security. Also, he seems to be like he enjoys saying weird things because he's kind of weird. So that there's that angle too. And he's a very large guy who has to walk on two canes. That's how fat he is, which is interesting, I suppose. So this was written in 1943, so it's also kind of a war story. So we've got this German spy here in England, and we have two government agents that are watching the house because they think the spy is going to receive a message tonight. Well, you know what happens? The spy is murdered. Somebody shoots him. And they suspect that it's not the tenant, the guy who's renting the house to him. Basically, there's this guy and his daughter. They live in the house, and his daughter has a German boyfriend. So there sort of are three suspects, and they were renting out this extra house to the German man, the German spy, and his wife. So they're sort of the suspects because they were the only three people who were sort of around at the time. And it turns out the culprit used, the man's gun. He used his gun, and the culprit had to be standing sort of on the guy's property. You could tell based on the bullet hole. So it's a really good frame job. Whoever, killed this German spy did a great job of framing the man he was renting the house from. And the gun was supposed to be locked inside the hunting shed. So, and he doesn't have an alibi, obviously. Nobody has an alibi when somebody's mysteriously murdered in the middle of the night. And Dr. Fell shows up, trying to think of what else I could say without getting into spoiler territory. Dr. Fell indicates that, hey, there's a lot of moss missing from the shooting range. And he also notes that there used to be a stuffed cat. There used to be a stuffed cat on the mantelpiece in the house, but there isn't anymore. What's up with that? And that's why everybody thinks he's so strange. They're like, why are you talking about a stuffed cat? We're trying to solve a murder mystery here. Thank you. So I will spoil the ending at this point. So it turns out the culprit is actually the victim's wife. So she, the German woman, she was the spy all along. And what she did was she shot the bullet. Let me see. So she shot a bullet through the window, and it hit the cat on the mantelpiece. So she stole the bullet from that cat, and she destroyed the cat to hide the evidence, but that created the bullet hole, and it gave her one of the hunting rifle bullets. She then took the bullet and she put it inside a different gun using moss to make sure it would work, and then she killed him at close range. So that way she basically used a bullet twice. So she used somebody else's bullet to kill her husband, and that's sort of how she was able to do this perfect frame job, because she'd already planned where the bullet hole would be in advance. She already set up the bullet in advance. It's pretty clever. And Dr. Fell was an interesting enough character, so I'd say, yeah, this is an okay story. I wouldn't mind reading more stuff with Dr. Fell. He seemed interesting, and is particularly a well thought out little crime with the solution. So good job. I give this story a thumbs up.